guys, what's going on? Mr. Soup C here, talking to you. I know you probably have met me before by maybe watching that awesome cool Crystal Pepsi video a long time ago. Actually tastes like Pepsi. But now, here I am, here to talk to you guys about one of my favorite shows that I loved as a kid. Back in 2001, long time ago, galaxy far, far away, in a very distant land, I, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. Yada, yada, yada. Samurai comes, he fights, saves the day. It's a pretty cool show. Samurai Jack. You haven't seen it? Go check it out. There's like 4 seasons, and it left on a cliffhanger. And as a kid, when I watched this show, I loved that the visual, the art style, the action. I mean, this was a pretty serious show. I mean, at the time, Jack just could murder and decimate robots at a whim. Because the evil, if you don't know, quick recap for you. There's this guy named Jack. And there's this all-seeing evil called Aku. And Aku comes back because of an episode called The Birth of Evil, which you should watch. Then goes into the show itself, and there's this guy called Samurai Jack. He gets flung into the future because there's this evil sorcerer, and he fights him with this ancient sword, and he gets sent to the future, and he has to come back to the past. All right, now that I've got you up to speed. If you don't know the full show, just go watch it. But now, because a year ago, 2016, we were teased that Samurai Jack was coming back. Because this show left on a cliffhanger and it got canceled. And as a kid, I didn't know if this was gonna have a serious conclusion or not. But here we are, 2017. Jack is back. Samurai Jack by Genji Tartakovsky is back. Saturday night at 11 o'clock, Toonami is airing Samurai Jack for the 5th and final season. And I'm here to talk to you guys, go into kind of an episode recap about each and every episode of this show, because, my God, it is amazing. I can't even, describe this first episode to get you set back into Jack's world and how he's fighting to get back to the past in order to save his family, his home, and the future. So how does it start? Dark and gritty and just so many questions that I have about this show. All right, so just to forewarn you now, spoilers. All right? I'm going to give you about 3 seconds. You want to click off to something else, I'm giving you a chance just to forewarn you. I'm giving you spoilers. Are you good? All right. So, episode 1. We are given this not normal intro. The normal intro was, we'd always hear the story of Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. But a foolish samurai warrior, wielding the magic sword, stepped forward to oppose me. Before the final blow was struck, I tore open a portal in time and flung him into the future, where my evil is law. Now the fool seeks to return to the past, and unto the future that is Aku. All right, none of that. We are dropped in where there's this, I believe, mother and daughter, and they're on the run, and all of a sudden this huge swarm of beetles, robot beetles that we're used to in Cartoon Network Samurai Jack. And they're circling them, and they're thinking this is the end, when all of a sudden this guy on this motorcycle comes storming in. And we know it's Jack, but this Jack is not 2001 Samurai Jack. This Jack is armed to the teeth with a motorcycle. He's got weapons. He's got explosives. And to me, I'm like, several questions are, brought up. Where's his gi? Where's his sword? What's going on? And it isn't until further in the episode that we start to kind of get this idea that it's several, it's 50 years in the future. and Jack is still not able to go home. And he's still, trying to fight this fight. But, 50 years is a long time, especially stuck in the future where your only mission is to get home in order to stop Aku. And in this new opening that we have, it's shown that time has gone forward, yet Jack has not aged. Which begs the question, is he, is somehow with the Aku's magic, is he able to, not age? He has to keep going through time, separated from his past, his family. We don't know. And in this, as we go along, Jack is able to, free this family. He drives off. He's having a rough time. I mean, bottom line, he's having these visions of his family and all the people that he hasn't saved. He's trying to, but he's tormented, and beautifully, by the way, art style, of his father. And you've forgotten your papa! You've forgotten your papa! And Jack is like, he keeps riding because he's not able to sleep or think or anything like that. And I would too. If my mission, in 50 years, I couldn't have, accomplished my mission. I would be tormented too. And we're also introduced to the Aku sisters. And right off the bat, the voice actor who played Aku, Mako, is dead. God rest his soul. So we haven't really got introduced to Aku yet, from way back. We got a little bit of, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but we got a little bit of a snippet. We were introduced to the Aku sisters, and it's kind of like this cult that worships Aku. And they train and they fight, and we're introduced these small children, and we see them progress, and they're tortured and they're battered and they're bruised, and their one mission, their one goal is to kill Samurai Jack. They're bred to kill. And that, as a childhood, would suck horribly. And so Jack is riding along, and he's doing all Mad Max style, and we're introduced to our first bounty hunter. And bounty hunter wise, he was pretty cool. I mean, he was able to control his swords and weapons because he has kind of like this tuning pick sword that whenever he swung at somebody, like their weapon would self-destruct. But as we're also, this bounty hunter kind of sets up that Jack has lost his sword. And somehow, because we're also introduced to this looming guy on this horseman guy. And these children that Jack, says, I'm sorry, I couldn't save you. And to me, it kind of feels like that Jack, something happened. And he encountered a villain or bounty hunter or some force that made him lose his sword, and he wasn't able to save these kids. And maybe that with it, or he lost it in a battle against this looming shadowy figure that we're unable to see or even see the face of. And so Jack, fights this bounty hunter, same style, little bit different because he doesn't have a sword. He's able to destroy him, and he actually, what's new, I think, to Jack is he took his weapon. And I think because he doesn't have his sword, Jack is, he needs to fight still. So he, picks up any weapons he's able to, find. And that's pretty much episode 1. The one funny part is when the bounty hunter, he calls Aku, and we got that little itty-bitty taste of Aku. We haven't gotten a lot of Aku, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be in the thick of it in a couple episodes. But that's episode 1 of Samurai Jack. I'm in. I can't believe it's 2017 and we're finally getting the conclusion that I've been waiting for since 2004, I believe. I I can't believe we live in an age of 2017 when Samurai Jack is back. Even the credits. Now, credits, I know most people just skip them, but the best part of the credits of this episode, it was the original Samurai Jack ending with the boom, 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 Samurai. It was fantastic. And we even got a preview of the next episode because the Aku sisters are finally trained, and their one mission now is to... So this next episode, the Aku sisters are after Jack. And Jack, he's also fighting this giant, what looks like robot. And we get a few little bit of dialogue from Jack that he's fought all these types of machines, and Aku just keeps throwing them at him. And eventually, they're just nuts and bolts. And he always finds a way. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to tell you, my fans, what's going on, my thoughts on the next episode of Samurai Jack. So stay tuned. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Soup Studios, where you hear me, Mr. Soup C, talk to you about Samurai Jack. So stay tuned.
On the next episode of Samurai Jack.
Aku keeps thinking that one of his machines can defeat me. They are just machines. It always seems bad at first. I'll find a way. I always have.
Samurai Jack, next Saturday at 11 p.m.
They are just nuts and bolts. Just nuts and bolts.
Only Toonami.